All right, let's get right into it. America's power grid is being pushed like never before. And the threat of a huge long-term blackout, well, that's not some far-off sci-fi plot anymore. Today, we're going to break down this converging crisis and look at all the different forces that are pushing our system right to the edge. But first, let me ask you something. How long could you really last without power? A day? A week? I mean, really think about it. Everything in your home that just stops when the lights go out. It's a pretty sobering thought, right? And it's exactly why this is so incredibly important to talk about. And look, this gets right to the heart of the matter. The people who watch this stuff for a living, the real experts, they're not debating if a massive failure is going to happen anymore. The debate has shifted to when. The problems are just piling up. They're not getting solved. And that means we are headed for a major, major event. So where are all these problems coming from? Well, let's start with the one we can all see. The head-on collision between our ancient, crumbling infrastructure and a completely new era of wild, extreme weather. I mean, just look at this list from the past couple of years alone. We're talking hurricanes in Texas that knocked out power for millions, brutal heat waves causing blackouts for days on end, wildfires, tornadoes, ice storms. You get the picture. This isn't just a Texas problem or a California problem. It's a nationwide pattern of our grid just getting hammered over and over again. So the big question is, why aren't we fixing it? Well, it really just comes down to money. We're talking about an overhaul that would cost trillions of dollars. And for a profit-driven industry, there's just not a lot of short-term incentive to spend that kind of cash upgrading systems that are, still technically working. It's a massive gamble that the old stuff will hold. And while that bet is being made, we all get more and more vulnerable. Okay, so you've got this old, creaky system. And now, on top of all that, we're plugging in a whole bunch of new stuff. Technologies that are demanding a massive amount of power that the grid was never, ever designed to handle. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Yeah, population growth is a factor, of course, but the real game changers, the explosive new sources of strain, are AI data centers and electric vehicles. And they're not just adding a little bit of demand here and there. They are creating these huge, concentrated power surges that can completely overwhelm an entire region's grid. And just check out how fast this is all happening. By 2025, about 1 in 5 new cars sold was an EV. That's double what it was the year before. People are switching over so fast that our infrastructure just can't keep up. It's not even close. And, there's a hidden cost to all this AI magic that most people don't think about. It's not just the electricity. All those computer chips working overtime generate an insane amount of heat. So to keep them from literally melting, these giant data centers have to use millions upon millions of gallons of water every single day, just for cooling. And that's already putting a huge strain on local water supplies and jacking up utility bills for everybody else nearby. So we've got the physical stress, the weather, the new demand. But then there are the invisible threats, the ones you can't see. And honestly, they might be even more dangerous. We're talking about economic issues and the very real threat of digital warfare. Right now, our grid is basically stuck in this political tug-of-war. On one side, you have the old fossil fuel systems that desperately need to be replaced. But on the other, investment in new renewables like solar and wind has slowed way down because the subsidies ran out. So what's the result? We're stuck in limbo. We're not getting the benefits of a new modern system, and we're not properly maintaining the old one. We're getting the worst of both worlds. And while our grid is stuck in that limbo, it's become a massive target. Just look at these numbers. The number of major cyber attacks on U.S. utilities by hackers linked to other countries jumped almost 70% in just 1 year. This is not a what-if scenario. This is happening right now, and it's getting worse. And to make this really hit home, let's talk about Volt Typhoon. This was a hacking group tied to China that got deep inside our critical infrastructure and stayed there for a long time without anyone knowing. Now, what does that actually mean? Think of it like this. It's not someone kicking down your front door. It's someone who picked the lock months ago, has been living in your walls, mapping out every single room, and is just waiting for the order to burn the whole house down. Okay, so extreme weather, crazy new demand, political gridlock, and cyber attacks. It's easy for this to sound like some big abstract news story, but this is where we bring it all right back home. Because this isn't just a headline. This is your problem. This quote really just nails it. Unless you're one of the very few people living completely off-grid, You are heavily dependent on this incredibly fragile system, and we just have to be honest with ourselves about what that really means when it all goes dark for a long time. So, what does it mean? It means your refrigerated medicine, like insulin, goes bad. It means you can't cook if you have an electric stove. If you're on a well, you have no clean water. Your phone dies, so you can't call for help. No heat in the winter, no AC in the summer. And if you rely on medical equipment, a long term outage can go from a major inconvenience to a life threatening emergency fast. Okay, that's the problem. It's big, it's complicated, I know, but feeling helpless is not the answer. So let's shift gears and talk about what you can actually do about it. Let's talk about a real plan for building your own resilience. It comes down to a simple 3-step plan. First, you have to assess your dependencies. Be honest. Walk through your house and figure out your critical failure points. Do you need power for medical equipment? For water? For cooking? Make a list. Second, secure backup power. This could be a small gas generator just for the essentials, or a bigger solar and battery setup. The key is to match the solution to your real needs from that list you just made. And third, and this one is so important, build a community network. You can't do this alone. Talk to your neighbors before a crisis hits. Find out who has what skills, who has what resources. Sharing makes everybody safer. And that really brings us to the bottom line here. All the evidence shows the grid isn't magically getting stronger anytime soon. So the real question is, are you? Every single step you take to be more prepared, more independent, makes you and your family less vulnerable when, not if, the system breaks. The time to get ready wasn't yesterday, and it's not tomorrow. It's right now.